start the show.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Veronica. It's great to be back.
Welcome to Yarn on the House. We haven't talked for a while.
It's been, I want to say, actually, I think it might have been 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. At least a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're in a whole different part of the U.S. You've moved. Why don't you tell everybody what you're about, also for the followers who don't know you, and kind of where you are now, and yeah.
I'm Liz Abinante. A lot of people know me as Feministy on Ravelry and Twitter. I designed the Traveling Woman in Soroyan shawls, which, apparently people have made.
Just a few.
Just, some people. I was born and raised in California, Northern California Bay Area, and earlier last year I actually moved to Chicago, where we thankfully had the most mild winter in Chicago history.
That was only for you.
Yeah, it was just for me. I brought the mild weather from California as a thank you gift.
That's nice of you.
And so I have some new stuff coming out that I'm really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Europe. Well,
ooh, yes.
I knit some things, and I decided I wanted to go to Europe with the knit things.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, we actually, my partner and I, his friends were getting married in the Black Forest in Germany. And we're like, well, we have to go to the wedding.
Yeah.
And we figured it's kind of silly to fly out there for 4 days. It's kind of a long flight, and we may as well make a whole trip of it. So where should we go?
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been to Italy, and I am Italian, and I wanted to go real bad.
Yes.
And I was like, but knitting, I can do knitting, and I can take it with me. And I've done a lot of abstract stuff that's been based on pop culture, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit more concrete, a little bit more tangible, mm-hmm. that was an actual physical representation of something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I could do something like the rolling hills of the Swiss Alps, because we were in Zurich for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, that's dumb. That's dumb. And then I came up with architecture, and I've never formally studied architecture. I've never had any classes in it or anything. I do have a general appreciation of beautiful buildings and the effort that goes into them, and standing in front of them and taking nice pictures mm-hmm. with pretty knitted things. So I started looking into the Italian architecture because I wanted to spend more time in Italy, and the Venetian architecture was what I really got into because it's such an eclectic mishmash mm-hmm. of a bunch of different influences, because the Venetian people are also a mishmash from a bunch of different influences. So I ended up doing some kind of diverse shawls. Mm-hmm. It's called the Arch Shawl Collection because they're all based on different elements of arch architecture.
Wow. And
there's a lace weight mm-hmm. and a fingering weight and a worsted weight.
Mm-hmm. That's
exciting. Yeah, I really like worsted weight. I'm trying to bring it into the shawl world.
Yeah, because it goes fast.
So fast. And you can do something really big with just one skein. It's great. And so I wanted to do something that was a little bit of something for everybody. There's lace, there's texture, there's garter stitch, and there's cables. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the first one is my favorite, Lancet Shawl. Mm-hmm. It's my first lace weight pattern. I think it's my first lace weight pattern.
It's your first?
I'm pretty sure. Wow. My first that I've designed. I'm really rough on things when I knit. I tug on the yarn, and my cats try to eat it.
Yeah.
And so lace weight and I are not always friends, but I was in love with the Lancet arches. They're Baroque architecture, and they're these very ornate kind of chevrons inside of the arch, and they're very decadent. And the stitch pattern was perfect. Yeah. But it would have lost the delicate nature in anything other than lace weight, and I did it. I knit a lace weight shawl.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I've knit with lace weight like 3 times in my entire knitting life, and it's so beautiful. I'm just too rough.
Yeah.
And so that's Lancet Shawl.
I'm crazy about lace weight, and I buy just tons of skeins, but then I never get around to actually knitting it. It's just like I have this huge lace weight stash, but it kind of takes a certain state of mind and a certain pattern to get you there. Maybe not for everybody, but at least for me. So
it does for me too. I think I've got about 15 skeins of lace weight that I've never done anything with.
And I have to be really I have to be all there concentrating because it's thinner and it just slides right off my metal needles.
Yep, me too. And then, so I was like, okay, one lace weight's enough. And I went with so Miss Babs. She has a great sport weight. It's a really generous skein, so you can get a pretty big shawl out of it. And it's this beautiful red called Ladybug. And in the skein, it's red. And you knit it up, and it's got these beautiful peach, pink, orange tones.
Wow.
It's so great. And that one is garter stitch with a reversible texture knit pearl lace border.
Wow.
Yeah, just throw everything in there, make all the design elements happen.
This is the second shawl of the collection,
Yes,
right?
the squinch shawl. And a squinch is a little teeny tiny piece of stone that goes into the arch to make it not fall down.
You're kidding.
Yeah, like
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a little teeny tiny wedge stone that just kind of slides on in there and supports the entire arch, the whole thing. Little teeny piece.
Little tiny, yeah.
And so the stitch motif, they're little wedges also. And they're knit on one side, pearl on the other, and they alternate. It's a lot of fun.
And the shawl is reversible, you were saying to me.
It's
so
reversible.
That's really cool. I love that idea.
And it's great. I like this one. It's good for beginners because it has the yarn overs and it has the decreases, but because it's knitting and purling, you see the shape as you're making it, and it's really easy to follow, and you don't have to use stitch markers for every repeat, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
And then the last one is knit in worsted weight from Woolly Wonka. It's a beautiful orange. I went with bold jewel tones. And it is a voussoir shawl. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize to my French friends if I'm not. It's a little wedge-shaped brick. Basically, you take a brick. Convenient.
Back there.
You take a brick, and it's a funny little like curved brick, basically. And those are really common in the arch, the undecorative archways that go up across like that. And this one is cables that are like they're textured smocked cables. And this one's different because the texture part is the top of the scarf, not the bottom of the scarf. And then the bottom is ribbing, so it's got a nice arch shape to it because the ribbing lets the shawl grow a lot more, and you don't have to knit as many stitches.
Very true.
Taking shortcuts.
Yes.
One shawl at a time. Yeah, so I took them all with me to Venice. We also went to Florence and another little city called Bergamo in the Alps. And we had a great time, and my original plan was do one shawl in every city.
Yeah.
Have a city for each shawl, and I could name the shawl after the city. But then I was like, no, Venice is so pretty.
It's where all your inspiration came from.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing was it was very, very, very crowded when we went. We were there at the end of October, which we didn't expect it to be crowded at all. But it was very, very busy. So we didn't get to shoot in some of the places that we really wanted to shoot in, but we still got some really good shots with the canals and the great, like, mishmash.
So you actually finished the shawls while you were there and then took pictures of them?
The voussoir shawl, I finished on the plane ride over there, and I blocked it, like, very gently blocked it in our hostel in Zurich the first night.
Nice.
Like, on my bed. I was in a little twin bunk bed, and right next to me is this shawl, like, slightly damp, laid out. And it was really cold there, and I was like, well, I'm bringing these 3 knit shawls, and lace weight is not going to keep me warm. And so I ended up wearing voussoir the entire time because it was worsted weight, and by the time we went to take photos in Venice on the last 3 days of our trip, it was like...
Yeah, because you'd been wearing it the whole time.
So I had to block it again in my twin bed. Again.